world where shadows linger just beyond the edges of the everyday, one podcast dares to open the cabinet of the unknown. The Shadow Frequency invites you into a realm of cryptids, conspiracies, hauntings, and mysteries that refuse to stay buried. Each episode, host Matt Wilson and producer Juniper Ravenwood sift through the eerie files of the unexplained, uncovering chilling encounters, listener stories, and whispers from the dark. Step closer, if you dare, and tune in to the Shadow Frequency.
This thing again. Come on, open up, you stubborn hunk of steel. There, got it. Wow, there's so much junk in here. Let's see. Matt, I think I've just found some kind of ancient manuscript. The pages are brittle and wait, this isn't even in English. These symbols don't look like anything I've ever seen before.
Careful with that, Juniper. Last time you started reading one of those, we had shadowy figures in the studio for a week.
Point taken. I'll just slide this creepy thing back in here before it curses us both. Now, see. Here it is, tonight's file. Episode 197, The Bed That Dances Alone. The strange Virginia legend of Bouncing Bertha, sent in by our listener Don from right there in Virginia.
Perfect. Thank you, Don, for the nightmare fuel. Let's open the file on Bouncing Bertha and head into tonight's episode of The Shadow Frequency.
You're tuned to the Shadow Frequency, where the veil between the living and the unknown grows thin. Strange whispers, hidden truths, and things best left in the dark await. Hosted by Matt Wilson. Produced by Juniper Ravenwood. Featuring Chris Beach. Let's step in to the shadows.
Good evening, listeners, and welcome to the eerie hum of the Shadow Frequency. Tonight, we're diving into a chilling tale from the hollers of Lee County, Virginia, where the night held its breath in 1938. A young girl named Bertha Sybert lay in her bed, only to feel it shudder and leap beneath her, night after night, as if possessed by some unseen force. The story of Bouncing Bertha gripped the nation, and we're about to unravel its mysteries. Matt, are you ready to step into the shadows with this one?
Oh, Juniper, you got my skin crawling already. A bed that dances on its own? Mm-hmm. That's the kind of story that makes you afraid to close your eyes.
All right.
Let's crack this case wide open.
I'm already uneasy, Matt. Take it away.
Thanks, Juniper, for digging into the file cabinet and pulling out this gem of a case. Listener Don from Virginia sent us this one, and folks, it's a strange one. Let's open the file on Bouncing Bertha, a paranormal legend that shook Lee County, Virginia back in 1938. Picture a small weathered farmhouse nestled in the Appalachian foothills. The year is 1938, and the Sybert family is just trying to get by. Their youngest daughter, Bertha, is about 12 years old, a quiet girl with wide eyes and a nervous habit of twisting her hair. By all accounts, she's ordinary, until the night her bed begins to move. It starts small, a faint tremor, like a train passing in the distance. Bertha wakes, heart pounding, but the house is still. She tells herself it's a dream and drifts back to sleep. But the next night, it happens again. Stronger this time. The wooden bed frame rattles against the floorboards, creaking and jerking as if something is shaking it. Bertha screams, and her parents rush in. But the moment they arrive, the bed falls silent. They check under it, around it, nothing. No loose bolts, no critters, no explanation. Night after night, the phenomenon grows. The bed doesn't just shake, it bounces. Witnesses, neighbors who trickle in to see the spectacle, describe it as if invisible hands are lifting the frame and slamming it back down. The mattress heaves, the headboard bangs against the wall, and poor Bertha clings to the sheets terrified. Word spreads, and soon reporters from across the country descend on Lee County. The Bristol Herald-Courier runs headlines, "Mystery Bed Defies Explanation." Crowds gather outside the Sybert home, some claiming they hear whispers in the wind, others swearing they see shadows flicker in Bertha's window. One night, a local preacher visits, clutching his Bible. He prays over the bed, sprinkling holy water, but the shaking only intensifies, as if mocking his efforts. A journalist from Chicago, bold enough to lie on the bed himself, reports being thrown off by a sudden jolt, his notepad flying across the room. The phenomenon peaks when a team of investigators, self-proclaimed ghost hunters of the era, set up cameras and lanterns. They capture nothing on film, but every man in the room swears the air grew thick, the temperature plummeted, and a low hum filled the house, like the growl of something ancient waking up. What was haunting Bertha's bed? Was it a restless spirit, tethered to the land, or something darker, drawn to the girl herself? The Syberts were a God-fearing family, but old-timers in Lee County whispered about the land their house was built on, a place where strange lights danced in the woods and travelers vanished without a trace. Whatever it was, it held Bertha in its grip, and the nation watched, spellbound, as her bed danced alone in the dark. I don't know about you, Juniper, but the thought of lying in a bed that's bucking like a wild horse with no explanation, that's the stuff of nightmares. What do you think's behind this?
Man, I'm getting chills just imagining it. A bed moving on its own. That's not just creepy, it's personal. It's your safe place turning against you. What's next?
Let's find out. Over to you, Juniper, for the break.
Well, listeners, we're halfway through the unsettling tale of Bouncing Bertha, and I'm already checking under my bed tonight. What's got you spooked? Are you picturing Bertha's bed lurching in the dark, or wondering what force could make a house hum with dread? We've got more to unravel, so stick with us. First, let's hear from Chris Beach with a quick word.
Sure, Juniper. Quick reminder, folks. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow the Shadow Frequency on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and any podcast app you use. Our home base is shadowfrequencypodcast.com. You can stream every episode there, read our new Shadow blog posts, grab some paranormal merch, and even drop us a voicemail. Let us know where you're listening from, and we just might play it on an upcoming show. And if you're enjoying what we do and want to help out, consider buying us a coffee. We truly appreciate the support. Back over to Juniper.
Thank you, Chris. Time to power up the spectral cosmic message materializer. I'm flipping the switches now. And look at that, a ghostly note floats through the ether.
Message retrieved from the void.
All right, let's crack it open and see what our listener has to say. This says, "Hi, Matt and Juniper. I just wanted to say how much I love listening to the Shadow Frequency while I'm working my late night shift at the hospital. Your stories keep me wide awake and looking over my shoulder more than the coffee ever could. I did want to share something strange that happened when I was driving home one morning around 3 a.m. I live just outside of Savannah, and there's an old stretch of road lined with moss-shaded oaks. Out of nowhere, my headlights picked up what looked like a figure in white standing right by the trees. I slowed down, and when I looked again, there was nothing there, but I swear I felt the hair on my arm stand straight up at a chill go right through me. I don't know if it was exhaustion or something else, but that road feels different every time I drive it now. Thought you two might appreciate a little real-life creep factor. Keep up the spooky work. Tammy from Savannah, Georgia." Ooh, I love this one, Tammy. You just gave me goosebumps. That whole figure in white by the mossy oaks is straight out of a southern ghost story. Savannah is already one of the most haunted cities in America, so I'm going to go ahead and say you definitely saw something. At the very least, don't drive that road alone at 3 a.m. without us in your earbuds. Hey, if you want to share your own creepy thoughts, drop us a line at shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. All right, Matt, take us back to Bertha's bouncing bed.
right, listeners, let's dive back into the shadows of Lee County, Virginia, 1938, where Bertha Sybert's bed is still defying gravity and sanity. The phenomenon has the whole country buzzing, with reporters, preachers, and curiosity seekers crowding the Sybert farmhouse. But what's really going on? Let's dig deeper into the mystery. As the weeks wore on, the disturbances grew stranger. Neighbors reported hearing faint knocks on the walls of Bertha's room, even when the bed was still. One woman claimed she saw a faint glowing figure, a girl in a white dress, standing at the foot of the bed, vanishing when she blinked. Bertha herself started to change. She grew pale, withdrawn, barely speaking. Her mother swore she heard Bertha muttering to someone in the night, though no one was there. The family began to wonder if Bertha was somehow the key to this haunting. Was she calling this entity to her, knowingly or not? Locals shared stories of the land's dark history. The Sybert house sat on a plot where a 19th century settler family had vanished, their cabin found empty, meals still on the table. Some whispered about a curse tied to the ground, a restless spirit bound to the earth, latching onto Bertha's innocence. Others spoke of poltergeist activity, noting that young girls on the cusp of adolescence often attract chaotic energies. The bed's movements grew violent, lifting a foot off the floor, twisting as if trying to throw Bertha out. One night, a neighbor claimed the bed rose fully into the air, hovering for seconds before crashing down. Now let's pause for a moment of clarity. Could there be a rational explanation? Some skeptics at the time suggested vibrations from nearby coal mines might have caused the shaking. Lee County was rich with mining activity and underground tremors weren't uncommon. But miners in the area swore no blasts happened at night, and the bed's movements were too deliberate, too rhythmic to be random quakes. Still, it's something to chew on. Could nature have played a trick, or was something supernatural at work? Back to the eerie truth. The phenomenon stopped as suddenly as it began. After months of terror, Bertha's bed fell silent, the crowds left, the reporters moved on, and the Syberts never spoke of it again. Bertha grew up, lived a quiet life, and passed away decades later, taking her secrets to the grave. But in Lee County, the legend lingers. Locals still avoid the old Sybert property, now abandoned, where some say the air feels heavy, and faint thumps echo in the night. Was it a spirit, a poltergeist, or something we'll never understand? One thing's certain, Bertha's bed danced, and no one can say why. That final image, a silent, empty house still humming with something unseen, makes my skin crawl. Juniper, what's your take on this one?
Matt, I'm torn. Part of me wants to believe it's just mind vibrations, but those stories of glowing figures and hovering beds, that's not coal dust.
Hey.
That's something else.
Exactly. All right, Juniper, close us out.
What a wild ride through the shadows of Lee County, listeners, from a bed that danced alone to whispers of cursed land. The tale of Bouncing Bertha leaves us with more questions than answers. Thanks for joining us on the Shadow Frequency for episode 197. We love hearing from you, so send your spooky stories to shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. And you can check us out on our website, shadowfrequencypodcast.com, and follow along on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Rumble for more creepy content. Join us next time for another strange case. Matt, you want to say goodnight?
Sleep tight, folks, if your bed lets you.
Good night, listeners. Stay curious and stay spooky.
This episode was produced with a commitment to exploring the unexplained while grounding our discussion in documented discoveries. All interpretations are speculative and intended for entertainment purposes.